with the track where the harness races are held here at the Lyons Delaware County Fair. This is Kenneth Barlow, who has a horse going tonight in the harness races. We can keep up with him. What's the horse's name, Kenneth?
Burns Beauty.
All righty, she'll be going tonight, right?
Right.
Is she a trotter or a pace?
She's a 2-year-old trotter.
Can you give us a rundown a little bit of the gear that you have here? Is this called a sulky? Is that the...
Sulky.
What's this made out of? How much does it weigh?
Wood, they weigh about 16, 17 pounds. Go ahead.
Has the horse raced before? Where has he raced at?
He's been racing in New York, Saratoga Springs. He's raced twice out there.
How'd she come in?
She was 6th both times.
How old of a horse is it?
She's 2-year-old.
Is this her first year of racing then?
Right. It's her first year.
How do you go about training her and get her in condition for these races?
Oh, Beauty. She started training long in... Here, get up there.
Just right on my cord there, Beauty.
Whoa.
All right, go ahead.
In September of last year, has been in training since then. Started breaking her along in September last year. And started actually training along in February, getting ready for this summer.
Will this horse race with hobbles, or does she do it just like this?
Just like this.
A little bit of the gear that you have on there. This is, we don't have color, but you have a blue thing on. All the drivers wear different colors to identify.
Each driver has their own colors.
So they can look for you in the blue and white out there tonight, and look for, now what's the horse's name again?
Burns Beauty.
Alrighty, which race will she be in?
She's in the 3rd race.
Alrighty, so in the 3rd race tonight here at the Lyons Delaware County Fair, look for Burns Beauty and Kenneth Barlow. Thanks a lot, Ken.
Okay, thank you.
Ken Barlow was born on a farm just outside Shelbyville, Indiana on July 28, 1936. And had a love for horses right from the start. By the time he was in college, Kenny had already purchased his first racehorse, Sam Middleton. Kenny married Charlene Ryle on July 2, 1955. Kenny worked for the Postal Service but still made time for the horses. But he was drawn to the racetrack and cleaned stalls for a good friend, Raymond DeBon, just so he could be around the sport he loved so much. In 1958, Kenny traded his car for a racehorse named Lucky Jim. This is the horse that would teach him everything he knew about racing. But the name was deceiving. And Lucky Jim might have been luckier if he wasn't 12 years old at the time. In 1959, Kenny, now father of 2, came home one day and told Charlene he had quit his job at the post office. He said, "I have a dream to race horses." And so the journey began. By 1960, Kenny was a professional licensed harness race driver and raced his first horse race with Lucky Jim. Kenny won his first race with Tommy Goose. Charlene was a proud wife and always by his side. Kenny went to work as trainer and driver in 1960 for Walter Verns. There are much easier ways to make a living besides horse racing. The hours are long, the work is hard, and the pay is unpredictable. It's hard on your ego, mind, body, and soul. The lows can be very low, but the highs are unforgettable. By 1962, Ken was racing for Harold and Lois McInnes. Inez and Charlene on Boulder Pat. in the limelight, the Barlows became somewhat famous. Kenny and Sergeant Bill in the news. By 1965, Kenny and Shirley now had 4 daughters: Debbie, Diane, Donna, and Darlene. Kenny won awards and races one after the other. He was one of the most popular drivers to come into the sport. In 1964, Kenny finished in the money 95 times out of 174 races. He had picked up a following of fans by now, as he captured the Indiana Trotting and Pacing Horse Association Leading Driver Award in 1964. He was the first ever 2-time winner of this award a year later in 1965. 1966 was an even better year for Kenny, but he lost the championship title only because most of his 61 wins were in the tough Detroit-Chicago pari-mutuel circuit. The first time Kenny laid eyes on Vern's Lady Plaid, she had never been on a racetrack and had laid down while hitched to a bike and had her feet straight up in the air. In 1966, Kenny started his own stable. In 1967, Kenny was in the money 82 times out of 169 races. Fans packed in to see him race everywhere he went. Kenny hit the front page of the news that the 2-time champion was bringing the Horse of the Year to New York to break the record. On Saturday, September 16, 1967, with the grandstands packed with Kenny's fans, he set a new world record for trotters. In a 1.125 on a half-mile track at the Rochester Fair in New Hampshire, with Vern's Lady Plaid, and new world record with a time of 2 minutes and 25 seconds. The record that fell was 22 years old and last broke in 1945. He won the race by 3/4 of a length. Here's Kenny in the news, making his mark in racing history. Vern's Lady Plaid was also Horse of the Year in 1966. Lady won 21 races of the 30 starts she had. Kenny and Charlene were leading very exciting lives at this point. They even named the race after them, the Verns Lady Plaid Trot. By 1968, the newspapers and Ken's friends were calling him the Hoosier Hop Shot. He had horses staked in the Indiana Fairs and was still in the sulky at Saratoga, New York. He would compete in 3 races at Connersville, Indiana, then hop on a plane to arrive just in time to race in Saratoga, New York the same night. Kenny and Walter Verns in the news. Kenny went on to become one of the top drivers not only in Indiana but in the entire nation. In harness racing, we take the barn home with us and our families to the races. You live it, you love it. It becomes a part of you, forever a footprint in your heart. Kenny was the only driver to ever race Verns Lady Plaid. Kenny was one of the best in harness racing history. Kenny went on to work with Bobby Dexter in 1975. And the SJM Stables in 1981. He broke colts for the Howard by Singer Stables. And also trained horses for the world-famous Hanover Shoe Farms. Here Kenny and Charlene enjoy their grandchildren. Kenny raced his last race in 1989 at the world-famous Meadowlands Raceway in New Jersey with a horse named Racy Mark. Kenny's friends and colleagues were some of the most famous and legendary drivers of the sport. George Schulte, Jimmy and John Simpson, Billy Houghton, Jay Sayers, Billy Herman, and Stanley Dancer. Walter Verns, Verns Lady Plaid, and Kenneth Barlow have been nominated for the Indiana Harness Horse Racing Hall of Fame. He raced in 3,118 races over a 28-year period from 1960 to 1989. Won 477 races. Finished second 390 times. Finished third 366 times. And had earnings of over $700,000. Yes, Kenny Barlow is a legend. Still today, everywhere we go, someone always seems to know the legendary driver Ken Barlow. It wouldn't matter if it was a trot or a pace. Oh, what we'd all give to see Kenny in just one more race. Even now, it doesn't take much to bring all those wonderful memories back.
Stand by. 3, 2, 1.
Dillon on the inside at station 306, plugging away. Donow in third through the stretch. Midnight Dillon almost home. Donow continues to plug away inside station 306. Midnight Dillon.